Hi, this is Lewis.
Hello everyone, this is Aldo.
Welcome to the Recruitment Show. So, a lot of people we found are looking for a new job right now. People are coming off furlough. Quite a few are unfortunately not having a job to go back to. So what advice would you give people right now looking for a new job?
Well, first of all, I would say it's great to network. I see a lot of posts out there, the hashtag people open to work.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
Where's that on?
That's on LinkedIn.
So just for people that don't know, what is that?
Well, the open to work, it's just letting recruiters know that they are available in the market, in the job market, which is really interesting. There is a way to network online, actually. It's so easy to connect to recruiters, to HR managers, because everyone's at home. So definitely an online, you don't like video calls, go and drop an email, pick up the phone and call. Everyone's available. So networking is great. You can still walk and talk, do this social distance coffee catch up. It always works. But I think that definitely the best way, one of the greatest ways is to interact with each other because everyone's available. What do you see currently in the job market, Lewis?
For that stuff, I think you're right. I mean, everyone is at home, and it's amazing that if you ask someone for help, everyone's happy to give you help.
True.
So if you are out of work, I think for me, it's about the open to work thing on LinkedIn is really cool, and I've seen a lot of people do it. And I think you'll come up on searches more. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but I think it's worth doing and lets people know that you're available and looking. Mm-hmm. The networking, I would network with everyone, like old colleagues, old contacts, old customers, anyone that's in your kind of space. Ask them for help, and as you said, like everyone's happy to have a chat. If you're in London or a major city or anywhere where there's a recruiter nearby and you do want to go out and have a walk, I mean most people are happy for a little walk right now.
True.
Also, I would look on LinkedIn and Facebook jobs and stuff. People are advertising. Although it's a little bit daunting when you see a job on LinkedIn that's already had like 600 or 1,000 applications. It's almost like a black hole. So I think the networking thing, like you've described, is super effective because you can speak to someone before they've even advertised, mm-hmm. and there might be a job. So I would do that. A trend that I've seen recently, which you asked about, a lot of people they say, I assume that interview processes are taking quite a while. And for me, I've actually found that interview processes at the level that we operate at, which is board level. We hire senior leadership roles, and typically they take a long time. There's a lot of people involved. I found actually that the processes have quickened over the pandemic because everything's virtual now. Like you have to try and before you had to try and find time in the CEO's diary for face-to-face. Now the CEO's probably at home. And the time between interviews is shortened, which I think is really interesting.
Yes, any other trends that you have noticed?
I think in terms of hiring, that's probably the main one. The other one I've seen, which is linked a little bit to online, is there's so much data around about people now. Yeah. And this was happening before, but everyone's checking you out online before they meet you, mm-hmm. And even more so now. Mm-hmm. So I think if you're looking for a role, make sure that, and this is been talked about a lot, but make sure your LinkedIn profile's up to date, make sure all your social media stuff's up to date, mm-hmm. and I think also contribute to conversations online.
Sure.
Like on LinkedIn,
being
about
active,
your industry. Sure. Yeah, like comment on things, like things, because the more you're active, the more mm-hmm. people see you. Mm-hmm. And I would also post more.
Like you become more visible.
Yeah, like do one post a day.
Yeah,
just absolutely. One LinkedIn post a day. Because that's probably the most relevant for professional networking.
Yeah.
And even, just find, it could be either an interesting article you found you can reshare and comment on, sure. Or, what experiences you've had with the pandemic, or whatever it might be that's relevant. If you do one post a day, mm-hmm. you're going to come up more on searches, you're going to have more content for potential interviewers to read about you before they meet you. And I think it's really useful.
True, and also don't give up when trying to connect with someone. I've experienced many times that I've sent out emails, haven't got any reply back, and for some reason we're scared of picking up the phone and call that person directly. And I know that many people is not available at their office, so their direct line is not working, but sometimes you get the redirect. If you have a mobile number, just reach out by mobile. Everyone's on their mobile phone, so it's easier. I actually found this great contact of mine, and I thought, well, I haven't spoken to him in 3 years, and I've called him directly on his mobile. Well, obviously at the beginning he was just finding it difficult to remember who I was, because obviously we met such a long time ago. I said, well, I'm going to follow up by an email. Now he clearly remembers who I was. We just spoke recently. If it was vice versa and I started with that email, he probably wouldn't have even replied. So don't be shy and try reaching out the old way. Just direct telephone call.
Yeah, no, telephone calls are great, video calls are great, face-to-face is great. There's so many ways to communicate. I think it's, you need to leverage everything. The other thing I'm seeing as well is for people that are in work and looking to kind of progress in their career, it's really hard to be visible now. Like before, if you're wandering into the office, you might have bumped into the CFO, or you might have happened to have spoken to the sales director over the coffee or something like that. But now as you're at home, how do you do that? And I think now you've got to be much more proactive.
Like virtual forums and things like that?
Yeah, like it could be virtual forum. It could be, I don't know, if you're in the accounts team, but send a message to the sales director. Say, hey, do you mind spending 5-10 minutes with me, having a chat? I'd love to meet you. Or I think you just need to be a little bit more proactive now, pre-pandemic, because you're just not going to bump into people anymore right now.
Yes, and how would you find alternative ways that you find opportunities for you to apply for? For example, if you go into the general job searches, would you go directly to the company, just filter and go directly to the company you would like to work for?
Yeah, I'd probably do 3 things. So speak to loads of headhunters and recruiters.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have hopefully a lot of interesting roles that you can apply for.
Mm-hmm.
Network with all of your contacts and customers, because you might find out opportunities before they even hit the market.
Mm-hmm.
Which is great. And then the third one, look on LinkedIn and apply for jobs and adverts and stuff like that. That's what I would do, those 3 things.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
You've got to be super proactive right now.
Yeah. Absolutely, especially because everyone is online. It's for us, we're used to doing the old way of meeting face to face. Now that which is not possible, then going that extra mile, as we said, through the phone calls, reaching out, doing a thorough research. What about the filtering? How do you have so many options out there. How do you filter your time and options when it comes to that?
So I did a little post on this, but you need to be super structured with your job search. And I do it in my diary. Like, you have to diarise it. So for example, let's say you get up at 6 a.m. You have breakfast, you have a shower and stuff, and then maybe 7 until 8 you have a walk, get some exercise, get some movement, get really positive and stuff, get the blood flowing. You make your coffee maybe, and then let's say between 9 and 10 you're looking on LinkedIn or looking on jobs boards. Then your next hour you might be filling out applications for your jobs, interview prep for the interview requests that you've got. Then you've got your interviews. Then you will need to do your LinkedIn post that hopefully we'll do 1 a day.
Mm-hmm.
So spend an hour. It takes a bit of time to think about a good post.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe put an hour in the diary to post, plus some time to comment and like things from people in your network.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you structure it nicely like that, then you're headed in the right direction. Because otherwise,
you'll be all over the place.
All over.
Yeah, I agree. A good structure is fundamental, it's key, and it's a job to find a job to get the next, because also you could get an offer but it's not the ideal kind of job you were looking for.
Yeah.
So you take it out of desperation. You don't want to be in that position.
No.
Now, also another topic that we're probably going to expand a bit more is finding it really challenging for graduates to find opportunities at the moment, especially for them right nowadays. Because if you have your network, your contacts in place, you know who to call, you've met through your career a few headhunters here and there. But what happens with our graduates? Lots of great potential, but not necessarily knowing the right route to the right job.
I think it's super hard, not even for grads, because you haven't got to go to university, of course, but it could be even a school leaver, someone who's getting their first job.
Yeah.
I think right now it's super hard because everyone's working at home, and it's quite hard to hire someone with no experience and they're not even in the same room as you. Like a line manager, a lot of line managers thinking, wow, maybe I'll hire someone with 1 or 2 years experience, because you might not trust, right? Some, young, 17, 18, whatever, early 20s, they've not really learned how to work yet.
Yeah.
They want training,
mm-hmm.
but people aren't comfortable. Like, how do you train people virtually? Do you trust that they're doing work?
I find that really challenging.
It's quite hard, right?
Yes.
So what you're seeing is loads of young people really struggling.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to think that if you're hiring right now,
mm-hmm.
and you can hire someone and train them,
mm-hmm.
take the risk. Because otherwise you're going to end up with a lot of young people that have just fallen through the gaps, just haven't been able to get work. And I mean, people need a chance. So I think people need to be, they need to pluck up the courage. I need to give people opportunities. And in fact, we're doing, Rishi Sunak, our Chancellor, he's just implemented this Kickstart scheme.
Yes, I heard that about that. It's great.
So great scheme. So they, between 16 and 24 year olds, they will fund, they'll pay the national minimum wage for that age group, plus NI and expenses and stuff. If you take on someone who's currently unemployed in that age bracket, they will fund it. And it means that, you're going to give people an opportunity. It's got to be a new job. Can't be replacing someone to save money. It's going to be a newly created job, and hopefully that will give some of these young people a chance to get some work experience.
Yes, and I think this is a great advice to our listeners, our audience, the hiring authorities especially, to give a chance to new talent, especially during the pandemic. It would be great to give them the chance 3 to 6 months to make the most of their potential and hopefully set them in the right path for career development.
Definitely. Aldo, what a great first podcast.
It's been fantastic as always.
Many more to come. And have a good one.
You too.